Hi everyone. So it's been a couple of years since I did a video, and the last one was just after the 2019 general election when Boris Johnson managed to secure an 80-seat majority. And that video was really about how I was worried about the damage that the Conservative Party were now going to do to the country. I guess I probably felt it was a little bit hopeless at that time to keep going because with an 80-seat majority, there's really not much you can do. I carried on campaigning on things like Twitter and other social media, but videos seemed, I don't know, I guess I was just a bit tired. Anyway, it's not about me. This is about basically me saying, wow, like, oh my God, who knew that it was going to turn into what it has turned into? Who knew that it was going to just blow up like it's blown up? And maybe we should have predicted that. I mean, after all, we knew these people were complete narcissists. We knew that they were incompetent, and there was elements of being psychopathic about them. But to get from 2019 to get to where we are right now is one hell of a journey, and it's been one crisis after another. So, I mean, for a start, I mean, we won't talk about Brexit because even though I know Boris Johnson said that he'd got Brexit done, but then he also says that we need him to get Brexit done, and so it's like, got Brexit done, but I haven't got Brexit done. You still need me because you need me to get Brexit done. It's just, yeah. I mean, it's just Brexit lies, isn't it? So anyway, given that Brexit hasn't been done, because Brexit is not yet done and it will not be done, we can move on to other things. So like the handling of the COVID pandemic. I mean, what an absolute catastrophe. I mean, tens of thousands of needless deaths, billions and billions of pounds of our money siphoned off to friends of Tory MPs. The corruption, it just reeks of corruption. And then you had Johnson himself finally losing the premiership because he broke his own rules. Because Johnson did what Johnson does, and that is lie, 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 and lie. And that's all he does. And then I think, the thing about that is that I kind of expected Johnson to lie and to almost blow himself up like this, but it's the sheer amount of sycophants that he has around him that when he was about to lose his premiership, these people were trying to change what actually happened by basically reducing everything down to, they're trying to get rid of Boris because he ate a piece of cake. And I think that really does tell you everything you need to know about these people, about your Nadine Dorries and other such people, is that they hold the victims of the COVID pandemic in such contempt, and the families of the people that died during the COVID pandemic in such absolute contempt that they're prepared to use things like, he just ate a piece of cake. That's what these people are. And anyway, so it carries on through, and then the Tory party membership in their wisdom decided Liz Truss would be a great idea to have to run the country. And then in the space of a few weeks, along with her Tufton Street cabal of psychopaths, she's managed to basically crash our economy. And as a direct result of these people, every single person in this country, unless you are seriously wealthy, I mean, I'm talking, you're a billionaire or something, is now poorer. Because every single person in this country will end up paying more money because of this, because of their stupidity, the stupidity dividend. I mean, is it even stupid? I don't know. The cynical part of me thinks with the Tufton Street cabal that this is exactly what they wanted. Market turbulence is a way to create a lot of money for people. If you know it's coming and you can predict it, you can make an awful lot of money. And a lot of people did. A lot of people that were close to these to the Tories did make a lot of money. A lot of hedge funds managers made money. So, anyway, it's been an absolute fucking disaster. I mean, I think it's fair to say that. But I do genuinely believe we finally reached the turning point, because although it's a total disaster, it's now finally and blatantly, clearly hit people, normal people, everybody in their pocket. They know it, and they know that the excuses or the deflections people are trying to make about this are bullshit. So I think as soon as the thing with Brexit was that you could always hide the impact of Brexit. The Tories were very lucky in certain respects, because they had things like the pandemic that they could use as an excuse, or the war in Ukraine that they could use. There was always something. When we all know, anyone with half a brain knows, yes, these things have an impact, but you can separate these things, and you can effectively determine what is the fault of Brexit and what is the fault of these other things. Anyway, most people aren't really interested in that, and they will probably take things on face value. So if someone says, "Oh, it's not because of Brexit, it's because of Ukraine," then some people might shrug their shoulders and say, "Oh, okay, fair enough." But now, the people that have caused this damage can't hide behind anything, because it's blatantly clear, and even the media finally are actually calling it out and saying, this is something that they're saying, this is exactly the fault of the government, of the Tory party, of the Conservative Party. There's nowhere for these people to hide. And because it's affecting everybody financially, that kind of makes it even worse in some respects. It's not some abstract concept, it's actually money in people's bank accounts. And so I think we have reached that turning point. And I think we now probably going to start the long road back to normality. Because people are exhausted. People are exhausted of living through unprecedented times. People want normality. People want honesty, integrity, decency. You know, all the things that were dismissed as being boring or, you know, not desirable, all of a sudden have become fashionable again. And of course, we can't forget, the majority of people in this country always wanted those things. But there was a big portion of people that were seduced by I don't know, the sort of the notion of people like Boris Johnson or disruptors. I don't know, and there are certain people that just want to see the world burn. But I think we've reached the point where we're going to be able to start undoing the damage that's been caused, and it's going to be a long road back. It's going to be a really is going to be a long road back, but we can do it. As soon as the country decides that's what they want, then it's what will happen. It was just getting to the point where people were prepared to make that decision. And so I'm hoping that the plummeting in the polls of the Conservative Party continues, because it's the least that they deserve. I personally think the Conservative Party don't deserve to be in existence anymore. What they've done, the misery that they've caused, the lasting damage that they've done to this country. And you have to remember, these people claim to be the one true holders of patriotism towards the United Kingdom, and yet they've single-handedly crashed the economy. They've essentially made dissolution of the United Kingdom much more likely, with things like Scottish independence, etc. They have torn this country apart. And so I don't believe that this party deserves to be in existence any longer. I have no say over it. I'm not a fascist, so I'm not somebody that is going to say, right, ban the Conservative Party. But if there's justice in this world, then the Tory party will be annihilated in the next election. That's what I hope. And I hope that we get an election soon, because even though there's a turning point in the mood of the country, the Conservative Party could still hold on to government for another 2 years. And the analogy that I would make for that is, and it's horrible, but I can't think of a better one, is that for many of us, it feels like we've been tied up and forced to watch the Conservative Party beat our country to death. And there's nothing we can do about it. But I'm hoping that there's a swift collapse in the Conservative government, that there's a general election, and that all of this mess can start to be sorted out by some decent politicians with integrity, with honesty, and are prepared to tell the truth and act for the benefit of everybody in this country and not just a select few. Thanks very much.